motivated by a sense of legal equality as a belief in spiritual equality. Not just that we are all equal in the eyes of the law, but more essentially that we are all equal in the eyes of God. The men and women who participated in those movements were perhaps less inspired by the words of the Constitution, guaranteeing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, than what Jesus told the lawyer who asked him what he needed to do to inherit eternal life. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. And as the Danish theologian Kierkegaard reminds us, this kind of love is not a feeling, it's a commandment. Latinos and Latinas, especially those of us of Mexican descent, may have less trouble than our friends in the progressive movement in seeing that there is a spiritual dimension to the struggle for civil equality. In the Mexican tradition, from Miguel Hidalgo through Francisco Madero, through Emiliano Zapata, and all the way to Cesar Chavez, the poor and the dispossessed have marched for their human rights behind the banner of the Virgin of Guadalupe. In fact, the United Farm Workers specifically invoked the Catholic tradition of social justice in the Plan of Delano, which states, at the head of the pilgrimage, we carry La Virgen, because she is our patroness of the Mexican people. We also carry the Sacred Cross and the Star of David because we are not sectarians, and because we ask the help and prayer of all religions. All men are brothers, sons of the same God. But one does not have to be a Christian or a believer of any faith to make the argument that we are all connected. Just as there is a natural ecology, there is a social ecology, a moral ecology. Just as the degradation of some part of the natural world can have broad and negative impacts worldwide, so too the increase of human suffering in the world affects even those of us who are not the immediate victims of that suffering. Moreover, as we are constantly reminded, our technological advances have shrunk the world. Conditions and events in other parts of the planet that once took months, even years to learn about, are now accessible within moments. Nowadays, only the most oblivious or hard-hearted among us can pretend that because the grass is green on his side of the fence, there's not a desert on the other side. It takes more and more to deny that all of us are connected when images like those of Katrina or the murderous rampage against the working women of Juarez have been burned into our brains. Sometimes I think the stress of modern life is due to our collective refusal to acknowledge the enormous suffering experienced by so much of the human family. It takes a real moral and psychological toll to deny what is in plain sight. Of course, I understand this today.